Hello. Today it's the first day of my isolation because as a supply teacher I won't be teaching for a little while. And well, I thought I'd share this book because it's a story that I wrote in 1995 with my class, and it is all about how I took a class on a walk around Bush where I worked. We went from the school all the way around the neighbourhood. Well, when I got back to school, unfortunately, I wasn't feeling very well. And when I got back to school, the children said, "Why were you not well? What happened?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. You tell me. Why do you think?" Okay, so it starts with the class saying, when the teacher said she would take us on a walk, we said we didn't want to go. We said we didn't feel well. First, when we came out of school, we saw a wicked witch and she tried to turn us into frogs and we ran away. That's why we didn't feel well. Then, as we passed the church, a huge hairy bear came and he tried to scratch us with his claws. We got a stick and whacked him. That's why we didn't feel well. Next, we went under the bridge and we saw a big bad wolf. He tried to eat us and we threw stones at him and he ran away. That's why we didn't feel well. As we walked beside the stream, an enormous fat caterpillar came. He thought we were leaves and he tried to tickle us. We gave him another leaf and he went away. That's why we didn't feel well. Then we went past houses covered in spider webs and black spiders. A creepy ghost appeared. "Boo!" he shouted, and we shook with fear. That's why we didn't feel well. After that, we stopped to eat a snack. And as we ate our banana, a grumpy gorilla came. He snatched it and he chased us away. That's why we didn't feel well. We went to the park, but the climbing frame turned into a spaceship and green aliens came and they tried to zap us with their laser guns. We hid behind the wall. That's why we didn't feel well. We went past the nursery school, but a gigantic dinosaur was in the playground and it ran after us and we fell into the mill pond. That's why we didn't feel well. By the pond, there was a splashing waterfall. We climbed up the steps and the steps were slippery and we slipped down into the water. That's why we didn't feel well. In the pond, there was a snappy crocodile. It tried to drag us down under the water. We all held hands and pulled each other out and got away. That's why we didn't feel well. On the water, we saw some ducks and some swans. The white swans came out of the water and pecked at us. We threw them some bread and they went away. That's why we didn't feel well. We walked through the long grass and a long snake slithered out and tried to bite us. We flung a stick at him and he went away. That's why we didn't feel well. We walked across the cricket pitch, but there was a swarm of insects and they flew around our heads. We flapped them away with our hands. That's why we didn't feel well. There's a bus, always a bus in my stories. At the bus stop, we got onto the bus, but all the passengers turned into mean monsters. The driver stopped the bus and we all jumped out. That's why we didn't feel well. And then finally, we came back to school where a big, massive dragon came out and blew fire at us. Our teacher chucked a bucket of water over him and we ran into the school. That's why we didn't feel well. When we were back at school, we felt much better. But then our poor teacher went home sick because she didn't feel well. Not the coronavirus. But it just shows, no matter where you are, there's always a lot of beauty around. And if you just go for a walk, use your imagination, I'm sure there are lots of things that you could write about. Indeed, where will your teacher, or maybe your mum, take you next? And what, indeed, could happen? Let me know.